What's up, guys? Giancarlo here again with Bad Beats CCG. Another day, another deck profile. Today we got Whis, different kind of skilless. I started playtesting this a few days ago. It's been performing relatively well. It is a deck I think has a lot of potential, and it's something that I'm probably going to keep playing for a while. So, getting into it, what the leader does is when this card attacks, draw one. Standard. Once per turn during your opponent's turn, when you, I'm just going to abridge it, right? When you combo with a yellow skilless card with 15k or less, when it's placed in the drop from your combo area, summon it. So basically, combo with a skilless that costs 15k. After the combo, you're going to summon it once per turn. Actually, that's like a really strong effect. That turns all of your skilless cards into pseudo combos. A pseudo combo is a term people used to use a lot around set 5 and 6. Any combo card that replaces itself in some way, similar to a super combo, but not as good, when your life is at 4 or less, or you have a yellow unison card in play with a specified cost of 2, draw one, untap one, flip this card over, and take from your life until you have 6. Very similar to the Gotenks, green Gotenks from set 11. On the backside, he has the same two first effects, but he gains the additional effect of activate main once per turn for 1 yellow energy. Choose a yellow Sun Goku or Vegeta with an energy cost of 2 in your battle area. Place it in the drop area. Choose a yellow battle card from your deck or hand with an energy cost of 3 and EX Evolve and the same name, and place it in the owner's drop area, then shuffle. So you sacrifice one of your 2 costs to bring out a 3 cost from hand or deck, and those 3 costs are pretty strong. For 1 energy, it's a very effective way to bring out like a 3 cost from your deck. Getting into the unisons, obviously unisons tend to be the most important part of a deck. We're playing 6 because our leader's awaken is directly tied into the unison, and we don't have a great way to just add a unison to hand. We have to draw it or cantrip it. We're playing a little bit of a higher number. Starting with this Vados, she's the one that's like meant for the deck, so she's obviously the better one, which is why we're playing 4. And this is like one of the better 2-drop unisons we've seen. When your opponent attacks, you may choose a yellow skillless battle card in your hand or drop area and combo with it. If you do, negate this skill for the turn. So, as we know, unisons don't get a defensive step when they are attacked. However, because this is an auto, she can effectively use a 5k from drop area to protect herself from losing a marker, and that's really strong. You can apply this to anything, whether it's your leader, a battle card, any attack she can use this auto on once per turn, and that's pretty strong. Activate main. Oh yeah, and of course that coincides directly with your leader ability of summoning a skillless card you just comboed with. So not only does she protect you from 1 attack, but you get a free body off of that. Very, very strong. Activate main +1. Choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle or unison cards. Switch it to rest mode. All right, I'm glad that this is her +1. This definitely says kill the Black Mass Saiyan on your opponent's side of the board. Black Mass Saiyan, 1 drop from, oh gosh, what is it, set 5, I think? All the way back in set 5, would absolutely destroy this deck. Absolutely. So the fact that the unison has built-in removal is very strong. Neg 4, activate main, play up to 2 skillless battle cards with 15k power from your deck or drop area, then shuffle your deck if you look through it. Relatively strong for, a 2-drop ult. Playing 2 attackers is just pretty good. The fact that she has built-in protection means you're probably pretty likely to get to 4, as opposed to some of the other 2-drops where they can die very easily to something like a double strike. And then we're playing 2 of the Unison of Fury. The reason we play him is for his -1. -1, your opponent cannot attack with battle cards with energy cost greater than their current energy until the end of the next turn. That's pretty much the only reason we play him. His other 2 effects are fine, but I doubt you're really ever going to use his -3. This is for something like Dark Broly, Red Broly, Gotenks. This deck is really good at comboing against wide boards, but if they summon something with like 25 or 30k attack, you pretty much can't out combo it. So that's where his effect is going to come in handy when we don't have our Vados. 1 drops, Whis the Helping Hand, that's the SR. This is the best 1 drop. When this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 yellow skillless battle card, or a unison card with a specified cost of 2. So he searches your Vados. You're going to want to play him on turn 1 every time. When you use a skillless battle card in a combo, draw 1 card. You can only activate autos on copies of this card for 1 turn. So even if you have 2 Whis, you'll only get that auto once. And this is like the puzzle you want to set up. You want to play Whis on 1, you want to play Vados on 2. And, you know, for the rest of the game, as long as they're on the board, they're going to be very strong value generators. Whis draws a card on your turn and your opponent's turn every time you combo with a skilless battle card. You know, and then because you're comboing with a skilless aggressively, it's going to be in your drop area for Vados to just reuse the next turn. Basically turning all of any skilless battle card in your drop area to a 0 mana, draw 1, summon a 15k body. It requires a little bit of setup, but that combo right there is actually very strong, and that's what makes the deck work so well. We're also playing 3 copies of Basil. I wanted to play another 1-drop in the deck just because, you know, 1-drops are good, and you really want to stick one. You want to curve out in this deck pretty much. And then, you know, we've known Basil's good for a while. He basically has unique, even though, you know, his permanent is basically unique. When you play this card, draw 1. Activate main once per turn. If your opponent has 5 or more cards in rest mode, this card gets plus 15k dual attack until the start of the next main phase. So he's just really good against, again, go wide aggro. This deck will shine when playing against something that puts a lot of 15k or smaller attackers on the board. You know, Basil's just a really strong card. Because you're Unison, you know, rest one of your opponent's battle cards, it could be possible that she helps trigger the Basil. Nice little interaction that might happen. For the skilless package, of course, we're playing 4 of each skilless. There are 2-drop 20Ks. These are both 2-drop 15Ks. Each of these characters has a 2-drop 20K. I thought about playing 1 of each, but because it doesn't synergize with your leader, I didn't think it was worth it. It does synergize with like 1-drop Whis, but, you know, I just decided against it. We are playing, instead of 1 copy of each 2-drop 20K, we're playing 2 of the Bulma. If your leader card is a Whis, when you combo with this card, basically combo with a 15 cost skilless from deck. She herself combos for 0, but then she fetches one of your skilless cards. Sometimes you might draw 1, but you want the other, simply because their 3-drop targets evolve differently. They have different effects. So Bulma kind of helps you pick the one you want out of your deck. And getting into the 3 cost, 1 is good early game, 1's good a little bit in the late game. Goku's the one you pretty much want to play on turn 2. He's a 20k critical, very strong. EX Evolve for 1, draw 1 card. So he replaces the card he EX Evolves over. That's like pretty standard at this point for Evolves. And I only play 3 of each of these simply because I can just search them from the deck. But when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode and KO it. So that's a very strong effect. You're pressuring life with a critical while also clearing board at the same time. Or you can attack a battle card, clear another battle card. This dude is very strong in the early game for that exact reason. Because your Unison puts something in rest mode, then he would just attack leader and kill, you know, maybe it's just a 1-drop, 2-drop. He doesn't have a limit. He could literally kill, you know, a secret rare if the scenario was presented. There's no limit on what he can kill. And then when he's removed from the battle area by my opponent's skill, play a yellow Vegeta with an energy cost of 2 from my deck or drop area, then shuffle the deck. So the only target I can say for Vegeta we play is the 15k skilless. Again, this could grab the 20k skilless if you really wanted. But you know, I just decided against playing those. Vegeta, Deity's Disciple. Again, he's better in the late game. He's a 20k double striker. You know, crit's good in the early game. Double strike's good in the late game. EX Evolve, same thing. Draw 1. Very nice. When your opponent activates a counter skill during a battle with this card, you may untap it and negate its skills for the rest of the turn. So you attack, they negate, he untaps. He does lose double strike at that point, which is kind of unfortunate, but it's okay too. You know, if they negate the attack, you're not getting the double strike in anyway, but you now have a 20k attacker that can either go after a Unison or a battle card, or you can just swing face again if you really wanted to. We play Champa, so, you know, you can still just throw a Champa onto this Vegeta, and you'll still get a double strike out of it. Beerus in awe of the Golden Emperor. I don't think Beerus was in awe of Golden Frieza. I think he could have just killed him if he wanted to. So I don't like this card's name, but that's beside the point. Auto for 1 yellow energy if your leader card is Whis, and it is your turn. When this card is used in a combo, choose up to 2 of your yellow skillless battle cards with 15k power, untap them, and they get plus 5k. So he actually combos for free. And in order to get that effect, you have to tap an additional yellow. As opposed to him being like a 1 mana 5k for combo, he's a lot better simply because you can always just combo him even if you don't have an energy up. So what he does is when you have 2 skilless, you attack with him, you attack with your leader, combo Beerus, uses his effect, untap 2, and you get 2 additional 20k attacks. That's like, 5 attacks at the cost of, just 1 more energy. You get 2 additional attacks, pretty strong. 3 of the Vegeta, Prideful Transformation. This is your Unison support. It's your Unison counterplay. We do play other counterplay in the deck, so you do have to be careful when sequencing. When you play him, you can't activate counters for the rest of the turn. So just don't trip yourself up and cheat yourself out of a really good counterplay by mis-sequencing. All right, here we have the super combo split. 3 Zamasu. Zamasu is pretty much the best defensive super combo, but in certain matchups, because your leader is so defensive, you're going to be at like 5 to 6 life for most of the game. So you want a super combo that's active from 8 life, basically from turn 1. When I was playtesting, I tried the Krillin at first, but there'd be so many games where I just have 6 life, and every Krillin in my hand is just completely dead. And then this card is really just for the flavor, Pure Hearted Son Goku. He's a 2-cost Son Goku, so you can search him from your 3-drop Vegeta from your deck or from your drop area. I don't know how relevant that is. I've done it before, and it feels good when you do that. But sometimes, again, like I said, I would be at 5. One time I was at 5 life, so I summon him from deck, and then I don't end up using him for like another 2 turns. But I mean, if you're at 4 life, then being able to search a super combo from drop is actually pretty strong in my opinion. You don't have to play it. I just thought I wanted to point out that the option was there. Double Champa, it's Champa, right? It's how we win the game. We also play a pretty big critical. So if on turn 3, I'm attacking with a 20k critical, throw a Champa on there, that's a 30k crit. That damage is probably going through in the early game. 1 Secret Identity Mass Saiyan. I've said in a good few deck profiles now, this is pretty much just the best generic Overwhelm, at least in my opinion. You don't actually want to prioritize Overwhelm in this deck simply because, you want to recur stuff from your drop area every turn. So, you're pretty selective in when you play him. And we have the SS3 Gotenks Secret Rare. When he's summoned, he negates all effects. I don't know, what does it say? Negate the skills of all other battle cards. Yeah, so pretty much comes down. He's a giant board skill drain. Pretty cool. His cost is reduced in hand by every 15k in your drop area. Your 15ks are your skillless cards and your Beerus. So it's not unlikely for you to have 4. He can't reduce himself past 4. The least he's going to cost is 4. That's not unreasonable to have around turn 4 or 5. When he's removed, he removes every battle card and energy your opponent controls in rest mode. So pretty cool if they do clear him with something like a max power. They're going to lose some cards. Maybe they'll lose an energy. It's a pretty decent secret rare. As for the extra cards, we're playing 3 Nimbus. Nimbus is just one of the best floodgates. It just stops you from losing. After you Nimbus, you might have a blocker. You have another, something like a Time Magic, another negate. Generally you're probably not going to lose that turn. I played double Time Magic, kind of just to go along with the Nimbus. Sparking negates are very strong. I wanted to play, 5 negates. Generally 5 to 6 negates is like the right number to play in my opinion. But, in this deck, there's a lot of attacks you're not going to want to negate. So you can use something like your leader ability or your unison ability. That way you can play a 15k. So you're not, minusing just by negating. And then really one of my favorite cards in the deck is this Tyrannical Blow. When this card first came out, I kind of overlooked it because I wasn't really playing a lot of yellow at the time. But after playing it in this deck, I've thought it was actually amazing. If your leader card is yellow, the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less. It's played with its skills negated for the turn. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or a unison card and negate its skills for the turn. So, it's basically a Cold Bloodlust for things that cost 3 or less. And then it can also hit a unison or another battle card of any level on the board. Let's say, for example, you're playing against Red Broly and they have a 4-drop on the board and they summon another 1-drop. You can Tyrannical Blow the 1-drop. It'll come out and be negated, and then you can choose the 4-drop, and then it cannot act. Its effects are negated, so it can't swap up. That might not that might not just win you the game. You know what I mean? But at the very least, it will prevent a lot of aggression. So I think this card's very strong. I actually have another scenario I can point out. Um, I'm going to cut here and go to that, and then I'll cut back. All right, so I wanted to try a new thing where I do like a simulated game state. I know this isn't perfect, but we're gonna try it anyway. So in this scenario, I go first. I tap one for Whis and pass. Vigex mills 5. He pretty much hits almost as good as he's gonna get, and he has a trunks in hand. So like he's gonna swing here. I'll take a life. He's already discarded. Swing here, take another life. When he swings here, I'm actually going to combo with my skilless. Okay, at the end of the battle, when it goes to drop, it'll be played instead. But first, because I comboed with the skilless, I'll draw one from Whis. So I'll draw one, and then this is played. My turn comes. Draw for turn. Charge. Whatever. Probably this card. Invert. We're gonna tap 2 for our unison. Let's see. These should all be tapped. And we're going to do, so it starts with 2 counters, right? Because we have a unison, we can now awaken. So alt face, untap 1, draw 1. Pretty good. Unison will come in, and it can, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards of unison, switch it to rest mode. So we're going to take it up. Say here we could choose the blocker or the Kai. Either way, it's pretty good, but I think we'll choose the Kai, because he's probably going to block anyway. I don't, whatever. I'm not like the greatest Vigex player in the world. I just wanted to illustrate the point. The point is, Vados comes in. We can attack the Kai super effectively. We can attack the Unison super effectively. We have an energy up. Next turn, when he wants to summon his Elite Descendant, we can use our Tyrannical Blow. Tyrannical Blow will negate the trunks, and then we can use its effect to negate the Unison, or maybe even the Vegeta or the Kai, anything he has on board. And then of course, we have once we establish our Unison, we have much greater defense, because we can combo with a skilless card a skilless card from the drop area, and then we get to play it with our leader. So we have a lot of defense, and this is just something I wanted to help illustrate the point of why I think the deck could be good against Vigex. All right, so these are some cards I want to try in this deck. These cards aren't like leader lock specific, even though they're all Slug's army. All you really need is a yellow leader. So these could pretty much fit into any good generic yellow leader, and I think Whis could fit that package. The Lord Slug Evil Invader, when you play him, you draw a card, so he's a nice cycle. Once per turn, send him to drop to play a 3-cost Slug's army from hand. You could either get Super Namekian or Angele. The Lord Slug Super Namekian would definitely be the star. He's unique, barrier, 20k, permanent, bond 2. When this card is in rest mode, your opponent can't add cards from their deck to their hand using non-leader skills. So, man, that's everything from unison, battle cards, super combo, extra card, just anything that isn't their leader, they're not going to be able to draw or search from. So, I mean, it's just really strong. A lot of, some decks might focus solely on getting advantage from their leader. But a lot of decks, every deck uses a super combo, and, most super combos draw a card. So, at the very least, he's going to turn off their super combo. He's very strong. Activate main for 1 energy. You can discard him to summon a 1-cost Lord Slug, Lord Slug's army from deck. And that's pretty much Evil Invader is going to be your only target. Overall, just a very strong card. Because he's a 20k body, your opponent can't just attack him with their leader for free. They're going to have to probably combo some power into him. And because your deck is so good at single target defense, it'd be really easy, because I'm plussing off of all of my defensive combos, and they're going to be negging off of all of their offensive comboing. Trying to kill this card would be a really big pain for, your opponent. I think it's a very strong card. And then Angele, Graceful Warrior, unique, critical, bond 2. Basically, when he attacks, if your opponent has 4 cards in rest mode, they pick 2 of them. They can't untap until the start of my next turn. So that could be like a leader and a unison. It could be 2 battle cards. It could be 2 energy. Any combination of all those cards. Really just staves off aggression. Not only are you pushing for critical damage, but whether they negate or combo or out combo the attack, you're still getting that benefit off of staving off aggression for the next turn. All of this, like I said, this would just fit really well in any generic leader deck, any generic yellow leader, and I think Whis could definitely be their home. And I always like to do pros and cons. So pros, it's very effective against wide aggro. Anything that's going to summon like multiple 15k attackers, you're really not too worried about, since you have very strong defense against 15k attackers. And like I said, not only are you stopping the attacks, but you're actually plussing off the attacks, whether you're comboing from grave and playing a 15k, or drawing when you combo with the skilless from your one drop Whis. You're actually going to get a lot of your card draw defensively rather than offensively. I think that's pretty cool. Early awaken, because your leader guarantees awaken on 2, like I said, similar to green Gotenks, you're pretty likely to awaken on 2. You play enough search, you play enough draw, you should have a unison on 2. And then a really good counterplay. I'm a huge fan of the one drop yellow counterplay from Draftbox. In testing, it's put in a lot of good work. And there's just so many scenarios that I've come across where it reminds me a lot of CBL. No, it's not as good because it can't hit like a 4 or a 5 drop, but the fact that it can negate a 3 drop and then any card on board is just so strong. Some of the cons, low hand size. You can't out combo something big, which is another con. Can't out combo big attackers. So if they swing with the 30k, you're probably not going to be able to out combo it. Simply because you're going to have like roughly 6 to 8 cards in hand, and even if you out combo it once, you're probably not going to be able to out combo the second 25k attack. So this deck definitely could struggle against big attackers. It's going to need to rely on its negates against something like that. Whereas, something like Vegex that swarms the field with smaller dudes, it'll have no problem defending. But like if you take green Gotenks, for example, I'm really not going to be able to out combo 2 25k attacks. I'm going to have to rely on negating it. And then you have to draw the unison to out BMS. Yeah, man, like BMS would absolutely destroy this deck. I'm talking about, his name is so long. Black Mass Saiyan Dark Power from set 5. Like he's like, you should know what it is. Yeah, that would absolutely destroy this deck. I mean, everything you play is a 15k. You have to out it. That's another really good reason you play the Zamasu super combo. You can rest it and then attack it. But sometimes that card just sticks on the board and you have no counter to it. You're gonna lose the game. Other than that, man, like I said, I think this is just a really good generic yellow leader. If Whis is one of your favorite characters, you finally have a leader to play. And I think, he's pretty good. I think, you could end up seeing him, somewhere down the line. Anytime there's more Goku and Vegeta support, it can just go right into this deck. Other than that, go ahead, like, subscribe, comment, do whatever you want. If you have feedback, you have criticism, let us know. I'll have the link to the Discord in the description. Every Thursday at 6 p.m. EST, we do a cash tournament. The more entrants, the bigger the prize pot. It's a webcam tournament similar to the ones that have been going on. And if you are missing your locals due to COVID, just let us know, and you can just join the tournament. If you have any questions, feel free to just message or comment. We'd be glad to interact with y'all. Other than that, hope you have a good day.